Happy Tuesday. I almost put Friday on everything. I did on one of them. I didn't fix it, but it's I have no idea what day of the week it is. They're gonna have to invent a new day, so I can just call it that. So where's ooh. You're still working on this. So many little minor details to get through. So, where am I at on this? Oh, I need to put. Oh, I didn't have to. I just hit her for that picture or that shot. So, I have to remember where we are in terms of the details.
In Manhattan, the Equestrian Council convenes.
I think. Okay, Luna is animated, but I think okay. It shouldn't be moving as much when she turns her head, though. So I want to offset that a bit. Okay. So in this time, it should be from here to here. Do 50%. Okay, that worked. I don't want her hair, because that being that everything's pivoting from here and that's such a long distance, so she turns her head and it's not stationary of sorts. It's like if somebody that had like long hair and they leaned back, turned their head, and it just went up with them. Gravity's going to hold it in somewhat place, so I want to kind of offset that motion to keep her mane kind of in that direction. And this is camera motion. Yep. Because of that, I can probably keep Luna's tail from moving. How many bones are in that? See, there's a whole bunch, but if I make her tail like do the flowy thing, I kind of have to do a Celestia, and I don't want to do that. So I think I'm just going to leave it as is. Yeah. But I think that just about does it for oops. Just let's do that. I'm wondering if her tail should have some kind of motion to it though, because right now I think it's just a board. I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to have oh, your hair is separate. Tail. I'm going to have it bent down a little bit. Yeah, that kind of helps. And then we'll have just a little bit of a bounce, maybe. Yeah, that works. So I feel like gravity is not doing what it should be on this. So I'm gonna have it see if I can bend that way. Probably don't need to do this because this is one of the reasons that I wanted to have the camera motion here, because it's kind of hard to see. I don't know about the stream compression, but there's right on the edge of this, you can just see the pixels move ever so slightly. So if I were to shift and move these chairs a little bit, you'd barely notice it with the camera moving. Same thing here is, if I don't put any animation, it makes it feel like there is, especially if you kind of do everything else. And I kind of feel that everything else is done well enough. And don't need to bother with the detail of her front hair animating, because again, that's also not going to be noticeable from that kind of a distance. Yeah. If that's the case, then I think it's just audience. For this shot anyway. Actually, that reminds me, I have not done the details for this group. All these ones are the same. So let's give them some detail. I need this shot back then. So, which details do I want? I'll just start from the beginning here. So we'll grab this. And good, these are still marked too. Now just to pick a couple of people and have them look around. So we'll have this is the group, so we'll grab this guy and we'll put it here. I need to make sure this copy and paste right. Yes, but I do not want tail. Let me go copy that again. The tails are all different shapes, so I have to make sure I'm not grabbing the... Or I already modified them all to fit, so I don't want to redo that work again. So I won't grab the scale. I won't grab hair back, because that could break something. Okay. Main thing is not to have a route selected. Okay. And all the names are just for joke. Okay, where are you? Okay, perfect. So you'll have that look. Daisy, you will have that there. Bob, let's check at the males. Yep, okay, Bob will look in that direction too. And let's do Michael Bay. Do him there. And Plumber Jane we'll put at the beginning here. I want to make sure these have some motion, so I'm going to grab that one too. Alright, and then what else do we got here? So this is look to the side. I don't want as many people doing this. And so the purpose of this is I am essentially... Hello, Plumsy. They're all very creative names. The purpose of this is to give everybody unique movement. How's it going for you? We'll do Tony Pot at the beginning. We'll do Swiggles in the middle. We'll do Water Lime in the middle. Oh yeah, I gotta make sure that these aren't next to each other. Okay, good. And Every time I see Babkins, I think Baskin Robbins. Okay. Is that motion? So now we yawn. This one I can put a few of. Leave me the file on. Okay, so we'll do the first group here. So Clumsy Muffins. Plumber James already got some stuff. Do Moon Pie. Oops, I am copying the root, I think. I knew I was going to do that at least once. More than likely, more than once. How'd you miss, or not how, why'd you miss work? Or you missed going to work? Oh, you missed work. Okay, it's past tense. I was going to say, hopefully it wasn't for some current reason, but... I am doing pretty well, though. It is bugging me staying inside so long, but if it's something that needs to be done, so it's, I'll do it with a smile, but, I am wanting to leave and do stuff. Just a couple of, projects that I want to get started for this time of year, but won't be able to. Okay, so there's the talking. I only make one group talk here. Oh. No, I know, but it's just psychologically. I mean, I'm a homebody, so it's whatever, but it's working from home and having a very sedentary lifestyle, and if we had canceled plans, I was like, ooh, yeah, you get more time to just do nothing. But now it's like I don't want to do that anymore. So it's annoying. Well, a lot of the stuff I want to make right now are house-based. Like, I bought this place maybe 6 months ago, 7 months ago, and my idea was that in the spring I wanted to start doing some things, but I haven't had the chance because a lot of the stuff I want to do requires going places all over. Not boring. I'm not really bored. It's more of I'm lacking motivation completely. Like, I made the Rathalos Twitter account, but I feel like not doing nothing with it now. Or at least right now. I still want to make stuff for it, but I was a lot more active with it. I can't find anything. I have a games library of, oh Jesus Christ, what is this, 640, and I still can't really think of anything to play on it. So I've been jumping back and forth between the game once an hour for a while here. So I don't know. I think I just need to find a good JRPG. I think I need something story-based and simple. I just finished Final Fantasy VII Remake. That was amazing. Oh my god, that game was so good. But I think it didn't quench the thirst. So I own most of the Final Fantasies. I might go back and play one of them. Maybe play 6 again. I've only played that one, I think, 100 times. So if we're gonna have two people talk, let's do these two. Okay, so I need from her. No, we'll get through this thing. It's just It's frustrating, but I'm not frustrating in that I'm going to be like, screw everything, I'm going to go do what I want to do. No, it's I'm going to do what needs to be done and go out only when I absolutely need to, but it's annoying. So I think the most annoying part is not knowing how long things are going to last, but at the same time, nobody does. And anybody that comes up with anything is going to just be a guess. Oh, I guess Daisy Lazy already has some stuff going on here. But that's fine. I'll just take it from her. So she's talking left. Okay, and then so that she's talking in front of that part. Now I have to grab the part here. Yeah, I know. We'll wait it out and we'll get through it. Ending it any sooner than it needs to end just means more unnecessary death or suffering, and so that's why I'll do my part. Is she actually mouthing? Yeah. Alright, for this one though, I'm not going to have that other person talk back. I'm just going to have them looking at each other. Okay. All right, looking for central motion. So things going on in the middle group. I'm kind of missing some stuff here. I'm gonna grab this one. So Thunder Chuckles. What do I want Thunder Chuckles to do? Oh yeah, there's the look at the hoof. I'll do that one. You know, you remember the names of these, but some of these, like, I can't remember the names of, and they're an interesting surprise every time. Oh, Colt. Yes. Crowd management in segmenting animation pieces on a consistent ambient to allow me to have flexibility in how they are animated. But I want to make sure that there's mostly motion going on. So not notice, like, that guy does something right at the end there, but kinda. This person I'm going to make do something. Looks like she has something at the beginning, but it's barely noticeable. I'll give her something again. Well, actually, I have to time them. And this is where I can do that. So I'm going to start throwing the time around, and yeah, I should be able to figure out Nat if I need to. Alright, so we're just going to go a little bit down. Oh, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this. Yeah, the ponies don't listen. They're all about friendship and hugging, and that doesn't work well for the social distancing. Because I know there's different people that pop up on here. Hello. I like to explain what I'm kind of doing here because otherwise it's kind of confusing. So I created a whole bunch of duplicate ponies and then made a single idol that was exactly the same over 3 seconds. I then, because of how long the shot was, where it went and crossed over at least 2 areas, I created this little base here where it was the base idol of just sitting there, but then just different things. Look to the right, look to the left, yawn, shake the head. Oh, I didn't put the shake the head in there. That's whatever. Look at the hoof, and then there's talk to her right, idle to her right, talk, or idle to her left, talk to your left. And not because it's in the same time, and because other than the looking left and right, they all blend into each other. I realized that hoof is not working. Kind of weird. I would have paid attention to that, but whatever. It allows me to copy paste segments in as I need randomly, and then I can just shift timing, and I get an approximation of random. So now some of these two still move too much in sequence. I think that this middle group is still not doing that much. If I go quick, I can kind of see if they're still in sequence or not. These two are pretty close. Okay, now they're a bit different. And I feel like still these two need to do... Somebody needs to do something. And there was that head shake I never used. So anyways, it just now makes it feel that everybody's got a little bit of randomness and with the least amount of work. Which is the important part when you got a jillion things to animate. Okay. Anybody that doesn't or feels like they're in too much of an area of non-activity, so this person. Okay, I'm gonna grab this person and maybe we'll do the same, but at the end, huh?
There's more poems.
No, same poems.
No?
I'm just adding the animation to them. Or not, yeah, I'm adding the variations and the animation to them. These two, we'll grab you and we'll have right at the end.
She's good. Didn't you see the episode Party 1? Pinkie great at throwing parties by herself.
But that didn't look fun and looked depressing.
She was smiling. Manically.
The Joker is smiling.
Yes. That's one of my favorite episodes. To be honest.
Alright. That should be fine then. It actually looks
It tastes mushroom.
like they've got some stuff to them. Oh yeah, I forgot that they're still not blinking. But it's funny. Fine, ponies don't blink. Hello, Surya.
Pony blinked.
When their idol doesn't blink. Which...
You're going to see it from the back. You're not going to see it.
Most of them, I don't even think you can see their heads or their eyes. But that looks like a legitimate crowd anyway. Mm-hmm. So that was what the important... Well, there's no crying child, though. I would need to have that.
Wouldn't let them in there. But,
Alright, so they will go into the other pile.
That'd be great, though, if they did. Like, if the president was giving a speech in front of a crowd, and they just, like, had a crying baby. Like,
you just hear it.
It'd be great.
Well, that and you need the little inset of like the American Sign Language person, which with a horse would just be like they're trying to direct the plane.
They got flags. It'd be amazing.
Yes. Which I never understood why they did that on television, where they could just do text unless they don't have the option of putting text on the screen. So I would think that would work better just to read it.
I mean, most things have closed caption now, but I guess once upon a time, and it might just be a holdover. Like something they still do just because nobody wants to fire the sign language person.
Well, there might be speeches in which the television crews don't have a copy to actually close caption, and they want to have it go live, so then they'll do it with it because then the person can present the information live.
The one thing I was kind of surprised to find out about sign language is it's not at all universal. Like, I figured, like, sign language was fairly similar between, like, you have, like, Spanish, English, French, so on and so forth. But I thought sign language was fairly universal. Turns out, a lot of different countries have different sign languages.
Probably developed at different times. 16, 24... 28, so this is 30 seats total amongst these, or empty seats still, and I have 21 here, so I need another half group to fill that up. And if I were to try to fill up this fourth row, that's 24, that's 28 more, which is...
At this point, you can just pick them up and start placing them, right?
1, 2. So I need 3 more groups. So I need to double the current amount of ponies to fill up all the way to this row. But if I fill up, that was a row of plenty, right? Yeah, 2 full rows. If I fill up to that row, that's kind of where I want to get to. Because I want to fill up to that one. Yeah, well, I'm going to fill the seats, but I'm not going to fill the seats in one go. I'm going to have to fill up part of them and then fill up another part and do multiple renders because the engine would be able to take it. But the nice thing is I can grab... I can literally just copy a group of 4 of these and move it to another seat. So filling in those other rows will actually be easy because I don't... Right now I want to get these first like 3, maybe 4 with random groups so that you're not seeing the same 4 groups all over the place. But if I do that, I would only have to copy a group like 3 times. And when you're doing that dozens of groups, I can really notice it. So yeah, I am filling all the seats, but the hard part was about pushing the ball up the hill, and so to where when I'm at the top I can just push it back down. Rolling it up was getting all the segmenting ready and all those pieces ready and getting this ready. Then I'm at the top of the hill and I can just, after I'm done, I can just go copy paste and throw everybody around, because the intent is to fill these 4 rows, then save it as its own file, then take all those ponies from all those individual seats, you just move them to the back ones, and then save it as a second file, and then go to the other group and move them all over as well. So you'll get probably, because that's going to be 10, 15, 20, 21. So that's 84 seats. So this can be all done on its own. So yeah, it's be 3 separate renders and 3 separate save files. Yeah, but now that I know I need 2 more groups of this, I don't want to. I was gonna bring that whole group into the seats, but I don't. I want to use this group last. I want to use them as the base so that I'm not copy pasting stuff that's already animated. For the Lara video, where she was powering up, what was that rock explosion around her? Oh, the one that comes out of the ground. That method for it was using the same method I used for the anthology short. We're talking about this one. There is no
TF2, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just I think it's the TF2 rocks. There is no animation to it. It's just I took the rocks and I positioned them like that, and then I just back timed the animation to pull them down, so then it just looked like they came up. The rock explosion of the rocks that are floating in the air around her, not the ones in the ground, but the ones that are actually floating, that was the TF2. When you drop the payload, there is a square group of rocks. They're just like in a grid, and they're all different shaped rocks, and they have a pre-made animation to explode upwards. And what I did with this was I just had that animation, I just slowed it down towards the end of it. But I use that animation all the time for rock explosions because it's already pre-made physics. Anytime you see rock exploding in anything I've done, it's been that model loaded in with its pre-made animations like a dozen times. The secondary reason it's nice is there's a lot of stuff from Half-Life that explodes, but a lot of the stuff that explodes in Half-Life is set to land on set surfaces that are in this wide area, so you get an explosion that lands at all these different heights, and consolidating them is annoying. So this one's nice because it all lands at the same height, so it's a lot easier to play with. I think most land at the same height. Yeah, because the payloads are used, the same explosion animation is used in multiple places. So yeah, that's what that is.
I just now realized for the first time that Crackle has 8 feet.
What's wrong with? Don't make fun of him. He was such a pain to animate. Like his landing here, or this one. That took me forever to animate.
Why?
It was literally me just put him in the air and put him on the ground and so whoop.
I'm like looking at that. You're like, that took forever. And it's like, I don't know.
I don't think I animated him at all. Oh no, I animated his wings.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
And
his eye.
There wasn't a whole lot you could do.
His eye too. But yeah, there's nothing. The model didn't work for anything else, but that made it perfect. Oh, and the mouth. I forgot about the mouth. I don't even think I moved the eyes.
I think that's all you could do with the mouth.
I just love to eat those, and then just this
coming from the sky.
Yeah, because they weren't even animated here. They were just the static model that I put behind a light and just different sizes.
The poor squid, terrified,
scared chicken. Actually, one of my proudest shots of this is these two.
that there.
I really liked her. Just her bounce animation here felt really bouncy. And I was that was actually, I think it was at that time that I really started playing around with grabbing bones and like yanking them and breaking the bone to actually give a bounce. And after I did that, I started playing around with it a little bit more here with like some of her motion. But
That's a great video.
I think the only disappointment I had with that is I did not like Twilight's lip syncing at the end here.
Really?
Yeah, I did not like it. I thought it didn't turn out that great.
That's fine with me. Never gave it much thought.
But see, this is the kind of video I want to make more of. Just this immensely stupid. This makes no sense, and I love it.
I mean, you are working on a video that makes.
But that one made nothing makes sense. At least with the Twilight one, it's about her doing science and stuff. This is about a dragon coming out of the sky and spawning multiple copies.
Came up with it in a rant, just at random in a stream.
Yeah, I know. It was amazing though. And then you saying make it a video, and I did.
Yeah.
No, I love that. Like that and
See, if you want to make random stupid shit, you just have to listen to me sometimes.
that and this one.
I mean, I told you about the dream where I burnt down a KFC last night.
Yeah. No, I want to make more like this too, because this I made in just hours. Like the whole thing did not take very long because I rushed it, and it wasn't about detail. All her animation here was just recycled from something else and just retimed. And then posing and just doing stupid. I want to make more like this. And if I were doing this full time, I could make, and I had the ideas, I could make one of these a day with the amount of time it took. So, but motivation lacking, and the need for detail just causes things to take forever.
I don't see, like, when you make videos like that, I'm honestly surprised, because I watch you and you put so much effort. Even when doing stupid stuff, you try to put like crazy amounts of effort into it.
Well, it's ones like that following the advice I got from PKPD before of just challenge yourself to do something as fast as possible, not worrying about the quality at the end, but just seeing how fast you can get to the end goal. And it's because you learn tricks and ways to speed up your process normally. And I learned a lot from that, and that was one of the other reasons that I loved those videos, is that it was a rush. Make the Milky Way was for that purpose of seeing how fast I could throw something out, and it actually turned out great. So yeah, one day. Lord. I think before I do anything like that, I want to finish this part, but then I also want to finish the other Twilight one. Once those are done, then I'll maybe go back to the ultra quick ones. Not just like the one I made recently with Cozy, because even that still took like 2 or 3 weeks for just a couple seconds.
Just something that's just a mess of recycled animations and simple poses.
Yeah. Well, that's why if you go to my I have DMX library. Not DMX library. I'm going to the wrong folder here. User mod, DMX videos. Okay, this is bugging me. I gotta fix this. Okay. I spelled it wrong once and it just kept carrying on. But I went through and exported all the individual pony animations for everything that I've done, and I make it a public download. That's why each of these has a README, because it's saying what the video was and the link to it, so that you could see what references in when it was used. But I did this originally because I needed it to create my own little library of stuff, but also so that I could then give it to other people as you have fun, and so they can do the same thing, recycle animations. But not worrying about the consequences. It's rushing through the video without worrying about perfection. Where with like the jiggle of the hair, I normally will go through and do a lot of cleanup for it. And I think with here, I think I just used the standard. Yeah, the jiggles are just the stiff version. I didn't do the cleanup on it. All I did was I locked it and I smoothed it, which gets you 70% of the way there. And some of this, I don't even think she's moving. I think it's just locked and I didn't care.
How happy she is.
Or like here on her shirt. Right there, it's clipping. Like, it's broken. And I just didn't even care.
I like how you didn't care, but you still like notice all these little things.
But no, but when
nobody else noticed.
Because to fix that would have taken me a while.
Yeah.
So, to me, it was more noticeable in the
I wouldn't notice any of these flaws until you point them out.
Where did I put the bloopers? There's the one here, but that's the original. Right? Yeah, that's the first one.
Rip off 4 rainbows.
No, the second one had her wearing black because she was singing back in black, and that one was a lot more noticeable because it was like white on black.
Remember the last stream where you had...
I saw it. That's what mattered.
Yeah.
Oh, orange.
Do you remember last stream where you had Luna flying around?
Oh, the bouncing? Yeah.
Yeah, I want more of that. I just want a video of that. Just her, like, in a hummingbird feeder, just flying like that. It'd be amazing.
And, like, just her tongue. And they just have, like a Twilight looking from her window, like...
Yes! Just like a...
That would actually be not that difficult to make.
No, that's the whole point. It would be super simple and silly as hell.
But and just overlay it with like, oh yeah, because the wings, you can just make the wings super quick and just make the hummingbird noises. I don't even know if there's a bird feeder model or...
There's got to be one somewhere or something. Or you could probably put one together. It's just a cylinder and some flowers. You just could color the cylinder.
I wonder if there is... So for those that went there last week, we had a...
Heck, that's something I can model. Pretty easy. I'm suck at it.
It's just the first time. It is. I have never had it where SFM wasn't in the first 2 pages. It's going downhill, man. Okay.
Rick May.
No, that's a plane. There's a nest.
What are you typing?
Oh no, yeah. The last stream, I just had Luna, and I just grabbed her and had her flying by me, bouncing her.
Just get her eaten out of a giant flower. Get like a big old sunflower or something. I don't know.
No, there's probably some. Like some of these big packs have stuff. Give her a big birdhouse on Caroline, just hanging from the side of the tower. That would be harder to do.
That'd be great. No, I wanted to make my own pizza from scratch, but they're all out of yeast. I was bummed. It was like one of the reasons I went to the store.
Just use baking powder. No.
You baking soda.
Well, you could just buy the pre-made bread, at least for that part.
That's the only thing you make from homemade. Like
Trader Joe's, when Kyle got that stuff before, he had the bread. He didn't put yeast or anything on there. It was bread he had to go and shape, but he didn't make the bread from scratch.
Yeah. I'd want to make the bread from scratch, otherwise I don't see much of the point.
Yeah, I don't think there's a bird feeder. SME, evil bird.
The
Oh,
bird
yes.
is so evil.
Look at that. Face of evil. There's a bird cage. Just put her, put her in the... No. No, birdhouse would be the same. The feeder would be funny.
You could probably put something there.
But then it kind of negates the purpose of it being something quick.
It would still be quick for you.
But then you'd also have to texture it so that parts of it are transparent, and other parts aren't.
Yeah, it would be fun.
SFM doesn't handle transparency very well, or glass, because you can't have.
I mean, you can do it. It's just not.
You would have to have a pretty detailed, rounded portion because it would have to reflect some light to show that it had something there. But whatever. Alright, so this audience is... At least that part of the audience is now done. And I don't want to move this group yet, because I don't want to move that group yet. That means I have to add the other two, but I don't want to do that yet until I'm mostly done with everything else. Because of the performance hit. So... I'm going to smooth out some of his motion here. It seems a little bit much. Because of that head down, though, I need to make sure I'm not destroying that. Okay. I still don't feel like they... Yeah, her eyes don't feel like they match.
Hey, Jurassic.
Hello, Jurassic. Hey, thanks, Orange. Well, the purpose of the stream is to help people out. So if you have any, if you see something or have a question or are unsure of something, or how to do something, let me know. Because when there's not a question being asked, I just work on stuff. So.
I'm just imagining you. It's like, how do you make a souffle and keep it from falling? And then you just get up from your computer, take your camera with you. It's like, okay, let's begin.
Well, that's a good
anything. You didn't say anything.
Well, it's a good thing that I already have one started in the oven.
Yes, just because right into a cooking show.
Well, SFM related, or even Source Engine to the degree. I'm doing well, Jurassic. How are you? I think I already asked that, but you can answer it again. Make the best Monster Hunter meal. You just make lots of it. That's it. A Monster Hunter meal is lots.
You have to start by killing a dinosaur.
And if you don't have one handy, just kill like 6 elephants.
Substitute dinosaur. If you don't have any dinosaur on hand, substitute dinosaur or fine. There's just a giant can labeled imitation dinosaur meat. Size of a house. Be great. Jurassic wants to eat a dinosaur, I can tell.
And so, for those that don't know what I'm working on, this is a parody from the Starship Troopers for Prince Whatever for a part of something he's making. So it's just the audio is all custom too that he had sent. So it's all from that though. And this is going to look a lot, better with the lights off. But for now,
Convenes.
Do you remember your...
with our valor, our blood, indeed with our very lives, to ensure that pony civilization, not changeling, rules Equestria now and always.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive against the Hive, source of the change.
Good stuff.
what were you saying?
I was saying before, remember years back when scientists were trying to bring the woolly mammoth back? Like using its DNA. And they were trying to impregnate an elephant. You don't remember? They were trying to do
No,
that.
I remember it, but just like for some reason that last part just sounded out of context.
No.
And
It's,
like when you're just like if that's all somebody just popped onto the stream to hear.
no, it's in context of the previous thing.
Remember trying to impregnate an elephant?
Well, yeah, but I was really hoping they'd pull it off. And you want to know why? Because I was hoping, like, before my death, farmers could just be raising woolly mammoths in, like, fields.
Mammoths?
Mammoths. The plural for mammoths.
Mammoths?
Mammoths. And, like, I want to know what they tasted like. Because they had to have been delicious, right? I mean, that's why they went extinct.
That is the most.
They were super tasty.
That is the most American thing you can think of. Again,
I mean,
I think
they
there
got
was
eaten.
there was something else that you would mention that too,
What?
where it was about your concern wasn't about them coming back because it was an endangered or a gone species, but I wonder what it tasted like.
I mean-
I wonder what the dodo tasted like.
Yeah, they also had to be delicious. Because people were traveling
No,
halfway.
there was other. Okay, there wasn't like tribal-men that had a whole like a coalition of people that all moved up because of the delicious mammoth.
People were like traveling halfway across the world just go to the Galapagos Islands to eat this delicious bird they heard of, and they were eating them.
I'm
by
pretty
the-
sure that's the mammoth was not
Like-
caused by over farming.
Somebody ate them all. That's why there's none left. I mean,
He's got his own version of
they were
history.
tasty.
No, okay, so how do you have ambient occlusion working in animation? Well, ambient occlusion is always gonna. So when you're looking at the normal view, it's just doing like the very, very quickest version of it, just so you can play it live. But as soon as you go into your clip editor, it will pre-render that. That is the only way right now of getting to see that level of detail for it. You can kind of, there are some things you can do with it. So if you go to render settings and say show ambient occlusion, you can see what that overlay looks like, which is handy. Especially since like you'll see some models that just don't work for something or another. But this will let you see what it is doing. So you can see here, like here it's darker behind the wing, and that's because the ambient occlusion is making it darker back there. You can even, if you do outline, you can get
Oh, that's neat.
kind of a cool like color in version. And that actually plays too, so you can.
Not changeling.
You gotta give this
rules
animation to some
Equestria
kids so they
now
can color it
and
in.
always.
Get a nice home activity.
You can just like do this.
Civilization.
and then just go into like
Make
After
the color
Effects and just fill in the colors.
Yay.
But there would be no shading, so it'd be a little weird.
Not changeling.
No.
But even then, you wouldn't even need to do that. You could, if you did this, well, that's essentially what's going on right now. Is there's
Rules Equestria now and
Eh.
always.
here she's got like she's all white, so you can't see her fong. But the Luna here, she's darker. The white her fong is showing up. So which actually I should play with that because I don't like that. But yeah. Yeah, you could make little coloring books or something. It's neat. But there are some models that sometimes you can see the ambient occlusion through them. And it's like something is weird to where the ambient occlusion is showing up, its layer is showing up in front of the model instead of behind it, which gets, and when you go in here, it means when you turn the ambient occlusion, it disappears completely, like it doesn't exist. It's weird. I hate those models and I can't figure out how to fix it all the time. But you can play with how those shadows look, and those are in a camera under SSAO. So that stands for Screen Space Ambient Occlusion, and it's ambient occlusion is something that takes processing and a lot of processing normally to do. Screen Space Ambient Occlusion is just a quick and dirty version of it, and that's what SFM uses because the game engine is not meant. The rendering it does is just kind of a side effect. So the default is normally where bias is low, strength is low, and radius is a little low medium. I go through and I used to keep exact numbers, but lately I just don't care anymore. So I usually put the bias up quite a bit, SAO strength up a lot, and then I just decrease radius a little bit. And if you go into showing it here, this is where you can kind of see those. So this bias is about tightening in the areas. I like to increase that a little bit because they're cartoonish. So by having those tightened areas, it helps flatten the colors in certain areas, makes it more cartoony. Strength is just going to be like the intensity, but it definitely works on a weird like exponential scale. I'm not sure on that. But if I put it down here at its base, you kind of miss a lot. And I find putting it up quite a bit actually is kind of nice for cartoony looks. And then for radius, it doesn't matter too much. But if you go down a lot, that's almost too much in the direction I don't want to go. So I just usually take it down a little bit. It's kind of like the feathering, it feels like. But I used to have exact values written down for what I would put there, but I don't know where I have those anymore. And for the last couple of videos I've done, I haven't even done them at all. Oh, and the eyes, well, it's showing on here, don't really have any of the ambient occlusion. You can see here it's just pure white, but here it's showing really, really black. It's processed, but the eyes basically are a layer on top of the ambient occlusion. So yeah.
Very live.
Yeah, so play with those values, see what works for you. That, like I said, that what I did is basically because it's working with cartoony type things. If you're going for very, very realistic type details, like if you're doing like Left 4 Dead characters or something, then you want to keep it more in the normal ranges. But TF2 is cartoonish based, this is cartoony based, so that's why I want to put it in those values. The one thing I've been meaning to do sometime, actually I have to check to see what the equivalent is. There is a material models called light something. Light warp. It's a super thin model, or a super thin model. Texture. That essentially just tells the engine how to process light from its darkest to its lightest area. So it's saying that if you're 10% towards light, how drastic is the change going to be? And since I'm thinking about it, I'm going to open up TF2 and see what theirs looks like. I think they might have unique ones per character. put their people under.
Where?
Yeah, that'll work. No, they might actually be using a general one. Because if I remember right, TF2 actually uses one a bit different. Yeah, so here it stays darker longer and actually transitions faster, which can lead to a more cartoony look because you're having all the colors kind of, or the brightnesses converge more on having a tipping point. Where if you actually swap this out with a half black, half white, you can make it so that the lighting when hitting a model is almost like a cutout. I seen was it Zachariah Scott actually utilized that, but said that the difficulty with it is you had to heavily control the map lighting to make it work. But it is something I've been meaning to play around with more. Of, like, for instance, what if I took this one? What is illuminated? Yeah, like that's just brighter, I guess. But let's say this is original. Play work. I'm wondering if that's hard coded in or if I'm gonna have to. And some of these might actually have their own. I can't remember if some of these have their own or not. Not really noticing a difference though. But I guess I really didn't have it at an angle to tell if it was making a difference or not. But yeah, that is one that I do want to putz with. To see if modifying it has an effect or not. At least in a positive direction. There's a lot of nuances to the engine that is fun to play around with. Yeah, and I swear I tried it, because what I tried to do once a while back was I wanted to see if I could animate a scene from Samurai Jack in SFM and look it just like the actual cartoon, utilizing light warping of black to white, of 100% contrast between the two, and loading in Aku, because the Aku model actually was pretty detailed in that regard, to see if I could make it look cut out. And I got it actually working. It was just that controlling the way that the lights worked was too difficult, because I think the reason it's not working here is because it's working off of the maps lights and not the lights you create. And I think that's where the problem came in, because I had to create my own custom map with a light in the center, and I had to position him within that area to get the effect. But it was just messy. It was so difficult to work with. I think the only way it would work is if I created a super bright light super far away, so that it was like a pinpoint light instead of or where all the light was hitting in a straight line instead of a light that's nearby and hitting from all the different angles. So yeah, you can do some neat stuff in SFM. You really dig deep. What are they doing now?
Plans for a counteroffensive.
Oh yeah, so for the end of this...
Announces plans for a counteroffensive. Celestia. Princess.
Okay, so I need to tell... I hear stamping, but it's supposed to be the crowd, but...
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive against the Hive. Source of plans for a counteroffensive against the Hive.
I think this is supposed to...
Counteroffensive against the offensive.
There's a change in the audio here?
Counteroffensive against the Hive. Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive against...
It sounds like right about here.
Plans for a counteroffensive against the...
I'm thinking that this is meant to be here.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive against the Hive.
Yeah, because I'm thinking by it being deeper, it's meant to be further away.
For a counteroffensive against the Hive.
Which doesn't quite match up, I think, with the original, but that is fine. I don't need it matching up.
Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive against the Hive, source of the changeling invasion that destroyed. Princess Celestia announces plans for a
Then does that mean that this is supposed to be the just front group that's
Her Highness
flying?
Princess Celestia announces plans for a counter...
No, that's too many. Sounds like rain. Do I want them cheering? This is going to be the hard part of, like, what do I have them do? Hey, Malik. Rumi, I don't know where he went. Oh, he probably went to lay down for a bit. He was here. His chair's there. Because you hear some people stampeding, and I would, you know, like, when the president does the president of the United States does his State of the Union address, you know, everybody, at least from his party, is clapping. So should I have them doing something? I don't see Spitfire doing something. She's just going to be Spitfire. And Twilight, I don't see being yay murder. And if that side's doing not doing any cheering, then the other side I feel shouldn't either. Because you don't want to have like everybody's all like serious and then shining over like ooh, 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 ooh. But if they're not doing that, then what do I have them do? Well, you know what? In the meantime, I'm thinking on that. I have to... do the... what would you call it? The applause of the audience. And so the plan is to... This is all these... There are root transforms in the same position on each seat. To just take Barry's pelvis, move her model down to where she needs to be for doing her cheer, and then I can just go through and copy paste that to every one of these, and they'll all just stand up from where they're sitting. So I have to just get her set for that. So this is her not doing anything. I think this is the base. Yep. So I want nothing. You're just gonna sit still. Okay, good pony. I have the animation for standing. Do I have the actual... Oh yeah, okay. But I don't know if I want to have her doing that. Like, I don't think I want anybody actually going to stand up. I'll keep it just in case, though. But That does mean, though, I have here the pose, and it's just melds into Newberry. So I have the positioning of what I wanted to do. Where's your tail? That's fine. It'll fix itself on load, I think. Yeah. So do I have anything of somebody already doing that? I swear I do. Or somebody actually might already. Somebody might have what I can use. Because you could take a walk animation and just the motion of the front legs, but there's more to it than that. There's a whole body sway with it. Oh, you know what? I'm probably thinking of Legends of Equestria. I'm thinking of the one that they use, because that actually works really well. But that animation does not exist outside of that. Clippity cloppity, you know. I don't think I do. Yeah, I might have to make one. But do I want to be a fast one or a slow one? If I do it slower, it'd be easier. She kind of looks a little drunk. There we go. Okay. So I will just have to make one from scratch then. So, I'm probably gonna have this be a 4-stage. I'm thinking. So in 4-stage, I mean where I want to have her do like up down, but well, actually it might be 8 then. But you can't have one leg. You can't if you animate it where like this leg is up and then this leg is up like this. The problem is when you go to blend them, you're gonna have a time where both legs are off the ground at the same time, and that isn't possible. Meaning that it has to be done in kind of, you'd have to have 2 with their legs up and then 2 with the legs down, or both on the ground, or at least prepping to lift. Because of that, I'm probably only going to do... I can do 4, and then I can add an extra sway to the other ones if I want. So I'm going to start with a leg lift, though. And it needs to be high enough that it's going to create the feeling of the impact. Okay, I'm only gonna, normally I do both, or do all the stuff. I'm gonna try to, I'm really bad at it. put this up at the same time. So I want to have it try to match. I think this one needs to be pulled back a little more. This leg might be a little higher, but that's fine. Okay. When they go to lift, it's probably going to require their entire body to twist, at least in some degree or another. Because they're going to have to put all their weight on one leg. So I'm going to lock this hoof for now. Do that. We're going to lock the back leg, so I'm not moving. I'm going to move the pelvis. And this is because you're now shifting all of your weight to one side. And the idea is to have the rest of the body move as little as possible to compensate. Make sure I didn't destroy something there. No, I didn't. Accidentally selected the stuff from behind. Okay, that's fine. Okay. I'm gonna do the same here. But this time, lock the other foot. See, I already think I might have turned her more than the other one, but I'm just gonna go with it. Oh, I know why. Because I only wanted to tilt these and then use the pelvis to get that direction. There we go. That's more what it felt like together. Okay. So now I'll turn the neck over, turn the head back. think that this one's turned a bit more than the other one was. That's why I need to compensate a bit more. Okay. The other thing too is I gotta make sure that these legs are up and down. You see, that one's up and down. I must have turned it less. That's the thing, the difficulty with this is trying to mirror the animation when you're doing it. It's just difficult. Okay. And so a lot of it, there's going to probably be some swing forward and backwards, but to me, doing that on every hoof push means she's going to do a lot of wobbling. So that's why I want to do probably the same of this, copied again, but have that section have where she's pulled back a little bit. So then it's like every one, she's like forward, backward, forward, backward. And so what I can do here then too, and this is the nice thing is, so I can maintain that the leg is down. This leg is down. Now I want to start having this hoof up. So what I can do is grab this is going to be left hoof. Yeah, I'm going to see a little bit of out. Oh, maybe I'll have to grab the other one. Maybe, or lock both. Oh no, I'll have to do it a little different. So I want to have her start lifting this hoof. So that means I'm just going to grab a little bit of out. And have the hoof turn down. This one I can't quite grab out, so I'm just going to click there. Do playhead. Just a bit. That's too much. How was your nap?
It was good. Legit fell asleep.
You were up there for like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I slept and then woke up.
Normally your sleep, when you go to sleep, is 3 hours.
Sometimes. But there's ponies to watch.
You know what she's doing?
She's like demanding boops. Oh no, she's clapping. Yay. Do a clippy clap. She's excited. She's like, you want boops? You want boops? Yes, you want boops. She's like, hey.
No.
Like a puppy.
No.
Yes.
She doesn't want boobs. She
I forgot my glasses.
She escaped.
No, you come back here. Boops. Slide. No. Ghost horse. Cute. Berry Punch is a cute one.
Here. Is this... Wait, hold on. You don't have your glasses.
Get close.
Is that good? Can you see her?
Let's boop that nose.
No.
Yes.
Michael. You can't even see that.
I'm that blind. You know where you are right now. That's cute. That
Okay,
girl puppy.
I don't think our I'm thinking though that there's still this secondary portion. She's just leaning into this one, but she's like completely turning into the other. I don't know, maybe it's fine. It just might be the angle that I'm working at. Actually, this is... I can probably not have this be over, 3 seconds. I can probably have this be over, like, half a second. Probably have to be less than that even, but I'll keep it at this, and if it ends up being slow, I just kind of crunch it together. How many seconds or frames do you bookmark each pose? It depends. I normally, if it's you're doing the keyframe for an actual animation, you want to keyframe it where you think the poses should be. If you're doing a cycle, it really doesn't matter. I wouldn't make it small. I usually stick to at least a second. But you want to make it so that when you hit play, that it's at least at some speed that is going to be enough for you to see what's going on. Because if it's over 10 seconds, you're not going to be able to actually see. I'm right now running on 24, and the nice thing is 24 is the divisibility of it. If you're running in a 1 second window and you're working on 30 seconds, and you only can really divide that in half once, which is to 15, but besides that, you can't divide evenly. Nice thing about 24 is that I can divide in two to 12, and then I can divide in two again to 6. So I can now divide it into fourths very, very easily. So that is one reason that I do like working at 24 frames. There's no rule against it. I just like having the divisibility of it. Plus, if you have it where you're working in very large amounts, trying to figure out like where the beginning and end, or like when I'm doing a cycle, if you're doing like hair animation and like hair blowing, usually a second's fine. But these little tick marks come in handy. And if you start getting too big, the tick marks start getting like useless. Because if I am making a cycle, I'll normally do it where, like for instance, if I say this is basically what I want to go with, which I think is, at least for a base, is going to work, I'll then figure out where the margin is outside of this that makes one equivalent time frame for that whole thing next to it on either side. So I have this going into now, instead of just 2 seconds, it's 6 seconds, and that is so then I can copy paste, because I want to make a cycle, so I want this to repeat infinitely. But to do that, I need to have the end and the beginning of it converging in on itself. So now until I'm done with the cycle, I'm going to start doing it to the entire timeline, and then copy pasting everything across. So anything that crosses over into this range, I copy from this piece here into the next the part here, and vice versa. So then it just has that nice smoothness to it, and I just need one to go. But if I'm going and doing any motion, any animation that covers the whole thing, the furthest I can go is this big. If I go any bigger than this, I'm crossing into non-loop range. But if I have a part that's like here, I need to be able to know how much of this is going, I need to copy over here. So having those little notches in a easily readable range is nice, because I can just go, okay, it's right here, and then I just copy that over. Yep, so like right now for the cycle, you can kind of see what's going on. But now I want to actually, like, say, start blending it. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to start right here. And so this is going to be the stomp. So I want to have the stomp happen quick, but then I want to have it I want to have it be like a boom, but then a slow rise. So for this one, I'm gonna do like this. I might make it a little bit more melodic, so I'm gonna go like that, and then this is the same as this, right? Yeah. So I'm just gonna blend that there, and then here, I'm gonna have this be a little wider. Maybe not. We'll try making that a little quicker too. I might have to actually go back and, yeah, I'm gonna actually have to enlarge that that blend. It's too harsh. So we can just do the same across. And a lot of this is because these are the other keyframes. I'm not crossing this animation into those keyframes. The blending, the less I do that, the more it's gonna be like action, slow down action, like mechanical. So I want to have this motion kind of get into it a little bit more. I think that should be fine. So I want to now copy kind of how that blends. But before I do that, I want to ensure that all of these areas are equivalent to what's in the center here. So for one, I need to make sure I know the sizing for what I'm working with right here. And it looks like so this is 877. 88824. Okay, that makes sense. One frame from the edge. Okay. So I'm just going to grab everything in the center here. So it doesn't change anything for how these cross. Now I'm going to go in the center here again. I'm going to grab exactly the same as I had before. So this to there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, okay. And then I'm going to blend the same here. Actually, I guess I didn't really need to copy it here. And so everything here is fine. Everything after that isn't. So I'm going to grab everything from here to here. Copy it to the end of this one. Bracket keys do that selection thing too. Super useful. I'm going to copy that middle. Now, it goes nice and smooth. So now any animation I do in this center box, I have to make sure I copy out of it, and any animation that crosses any of these bookmarks, and it should never cross more than one bookmark at a time, has to be selected and copied back into the center. This is the way I've been doing it for 8 years, and it works pretty well. So now when I look at this, not very energetic, but that's kind of fine. But what I end up wanting to do, well, and I'll look at the details of this done first. I think that this is a little bit like, could be smoothed out a little bit. So I'm gonna make sure these are still locked. So I want to make sure the feet still land. I'm gonna hit with smooth. Actually, I'm gonna select that range first. I am going to do that, but I'm not going to smooth these two. Okay, so that should be fine. But now I affected it crossing here and crossing here, but these are fine. So I'm gonna make sure I select everything just in case. Here, now everything's fine again. So if I sped this up, and you can use, if you ever use the period and the decimal keys, they the period and the comma keys, they will allow you to go backwards and forwards, but if you tap them multiple times, it will speed things up. And if you hit control with that, you'll slow it down. Pretty useful. But for this, if I want to say, like, I'm going to have to speed this up. So if I did double speed, that's really still not going to match up with what I want. I think I might need more pull upwards. So let's just give that a shot. I think that would work, just not to that extreme. Let's select. We'll go with that range. What I'm going to do is turn the arm out, pull it up more. Yeah, it should be fine. Now I'm in this range, so I'm going to make sure now. I only touched the legs, so I'm just going to copy. Now I'm going to go back to this leg and do the same thing. So it was about here. I'm just going to do the same thing. Lift it up. Okay. Now to cross this over, I need to grab this section. Okay. Let's see if I can add a little bit of like a tilt to the pelvis. So when she goes this way, so I'm gonna make sure I try to stick within these ranges. So I'm gonna go select, because this is again divisible by 4, so I can grab just half. And when she goes this way, if I can shift her that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna cross a little bit. And if we have to tilt her back that way.
She's so happy.
looks like there's going to be a bit of a break on that.
Super tired. Not slept well the last couple nights.
Drugs.
Drugs would help.
Well, then go to bed early.
That's the plan tonight, yeah.
That's what I did yesterday. I was tired, so I went to bed early. I didn't sleep well, but I went to bed at what time?
You went to bed, I think you disappeared about 11.
Yeah, I read to the end of my current chapter, and then I went to bed at about 11:20.
Yeah, I didn't start my workout till like 11:30, so that's my biggest issue is that I'm ready to go to bed, but I haven't done my workout yet.
But you could have
And
done
I'm
it
up to,
earlier.
like,
You disappeared from stuff like at 10:45.
Yeah. Because it was my intent to start it earlier. But then YouTube videos. It's those wicked people who make YouTube videos. It's all their fault.
Yep. All my fault.
Yes.
You're just sitting there and watching Remembrance on repeat.
I've admittedly probably watched that at least a dozen times.
Me too.
One would imagine.
Oh yes, that's what I wanted to do here. So I need to make
Kind of want to get. I'm gonna open up that box over there, and it's not even gonna be what I think it is. It's gonna be something I forgot I ordered.
It says Valve on it.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty good indication.
I'm pretty sure that means it's what you want. You didn't even look at the box?
No. I thought it was just a box. Didn't think it had any real indication on it.
But so
That's. I mean, I went
yeah.
based on what you told me.
So his index
Look at
comes
the
today,
box.
and
I'm surprised they didn't.
so it requires signature, and it calls during a meeting that I'm presenting on, or they showed up during. So the doorbell rings as I'm speaking, and I'm like, I know what it is, and I know it's going to require signature. So it's either I continue doing what I'm doing, or Michael gets angry because it was returned to the office.
Yeah, angry. I'd be like,
So
tear rolled down my cheek.
as I'm talking, because I was on my cell phone that I call into the meeting, was coming downstairs as I was still talking about what I remember on the screen, and then my boss started saying something, thankfully in time to where I just muted myself, and then the guy's like, "Do you want me to just forge a signature?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, so then I grabbed it inside quick and then ran back upstairs. So you threw off my whole meeting so that you could get your damn index.
I don't play video games.
That you're probably not even going to set up today.
No, I probably will actually, as soon as this is over.
Yeah, but how you can get it on the wall?
I got screws somewhere. Something. I don't know.
You still got to figure out where to put it in there.
I'll fiddle with it.
Because you have to have it so that it has line of sight. So if you put it too far behind your monitors or TV, it's not going to see.
I'm gonna put probably one behind my monitor and one like near the bookshelf.
Put it in the closet.
Okay. Seems like a bad idea.
The VR closet. Okay, so I wanted to have it be. I'm gonna grab.
You used screws for yours, didn't you?
Yeah,
I can use those screws.
it comes with screws.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. No, but you said before you were just gonna adhere it to the wall.
I was thinking of just 3M'ing it, yeah. The wall. But then you said they're expensive and delicate, and if they fall, they break. So I fought against that.
Plus, you might have to ensure that they're connected, so you're gonna have cords hanging. And plus, we were planning on repainting in the next couple months.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like half-assedly hang them up. I don't. You worry far more about cord chilling than I do.
I hate cords hanging.
Yeah.
It's so tacky.
Yeah, but it's whatever.
And so I got here's one to put up there, but I have the stuff to once I get I'm gonna call tomorrow about the paint and try to get a matching paint for the cord stuff.
Yes.
I get cord tubes because I have my cords is hanging.
I hear they're the most delicate thing, that they can get messed up pretty easy.
Well, it's
so you don't want them falling, basically.
You want them secure because there's, at least in these ones, there's a motor in there that spins that's cooling it because they get hot. So they're set to turn on and off whenever I have Steam VR open or closed. So normally you can hear them go ring when I have Steam VR open, but as soon as I close it, the Bluetooth shuts them off. But if they're not like secure, it's trying to remember what you have for your room set up. So if it shifts a little bit, it throws it off. So you want to have them as snug as possible.
I'll have to figure it out. I'll have to figure out where the studs are in the walls.
I have a stud finder. It just doesn't work very well.
I mean, the original stud finder is just taking your finger and going tap, 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 tap.
Yeah, but I know for the TV I determined, because like the TV and stuff, I wanted to get in the center of the stud. And that's not going to tell you what the center is. You're going to do a lot of guesswork or really loud knocking on the wall for the next hour and a half, especially when you're doing it at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
like, if you do have that stud finder, that'd be great.
Yeah, for the TV, what I ended up doing was I used the stud finder to figure out where multiple studs were, and then I figured out the average distance between them, and then looked up what the averages for normal studs are, and what the different standards are, and then I was able to go, okay, I think it's 16 inches, because off my averages, it came closest to 16, and all the different ones are 14, 16, 18. I was like, well, if it's closest to 16, it's probably 16. So then I found what was the average of one, and then I could math out the rest of them from there.
The nice thing with the 3M stuff is like, you don't even have to worry about that.
Yeah, but then at 3M, if you're doing it as a Velcro, over time, that's going to start probably, because of the weight of it, start to pull on the Velcro, and you're going to have it thrown off.
Eventually, it's probably just going to fall, and then busted. That's the problem.
Yeah, they're $150.
Yeah.
Each.
So I got some pictures on them, but then I already have one broken frame as a result. It just fell off.
Really?
Yeah.
How did it... I've never had a 3M strip. No, I had one in my entire time. How many did you strip?
I have like 3 on the back of it.
Full strips? I always... Like, a lot of these ones, they are a full black strip cut into like 6 pieces, so they're just the teeny bits, and I put one on either corner.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because there's no point in having it fill the blank space.
I think I can just fix the frame, to be honest. I just haven't gotten around to it.
I have shadow boxes that broke during shipping, and we took crazy glue to stick it back together, and then my sister it was a black paint marker. So it was a marker, but it wasn't a normal marker. It was actual paint in the marker, and then it was black frame. So if you look closely, you can see it, but it works fine.
Yeah.
And to the credit of the what was it? The people that made it. They just retired. What was the name of the people that did the shadow boxes?
I have a shadow box I've never put up.
It's the people that did them all the time. They were all at all the conventions. They're like the people that started the craze for it. Anyway, they're really good at it, but they said that they would pay for the cost of the replacement, even though the shipping was what broke it.
Yeah.
They packaged them great. It's just they took a really hard hit, but yeah, they said they'd replace it, and I said, "Boy, no, you're not going to replace that. I just want to know where you got it so I can go and get the equivalent." And then I never did. I just
fixed the other one.
Yeah, they're like $15 a piece.
I mean, the VR station kind of works without the base stations. It's just not real well, from my understanding. Like, similar to the way your phone would work.
How does your controllers work?
No, controllers are just hooked up to the... But the controllers, I don't think it would track them.
No, it wouldn't track them at all.
Only the VR headset would work a little bit.
It would be able to tell if you tilted, but
Yeah.
how would it know if you moved?
It would start from a default position.
Oh.
Your cell phone can do the same thing.
But a cell phone can notice orientation
Yeah.
using a gyro, but if I move it from here to here, it's not going to know.
Nah, probably not.
And so the headset's not going to know. So all the headset would do is allow gyration,
Yeah.
which is nothing. So, no, and then you can't use the guns. How do you shoot?
I wouldn't be able to play games with it, no.
That's the point of it. It's a glorified TV screen you tape to your head.
I want to see that pony prance. Prancing ponies. It'll also get you drunk.
No, I'm checking to see if
She is the prancing pony.
I want to have her.
Glitter Blog gets the Lord of the Ring reference I'm making, don't you, Glitter Blog?
I want to have the ponies kind of shift a little bit forward and backward. But I need to find a central place. So this is divided out. I could do fourths. This is not going to copyright, but actually, wait, I gotta figure out my range here. So I am currently covering 3 seconds. And this would be the midpoint. Okay.
Ooh, I bought coffee, by the way.
Okay.
I can already sense you're like, It's not Trader Joe coffee.
Well, I know it's not.
But I figured if I was drinking a lot of coffee, I should buy some coffee.
Some coffee for yourself.
Do you want to touch this?
What did you buy?
Starbucks.
See, that's why.
Dark French roast.
So you bought exactly what we were drinking.
Yeah, except what I could get
worse.
at Target. It's not worse.
Have you tried it?
I've had Starbucks plenty of times.
Have you had that coffee before?
I've had Starbucks French roast before.
Same.
Oh, maybe. You need a little bit of variety in your life.
I have that backwards for that lock.
I might make some tonight, actually. I'm gonna make some of it right after this is done.
Really?
Yeah, I hate coffee so bad. I'm not gonna get those base stations out without coffee.
But
I'm so tired.
You already said you're going to go to bed earlier, but then you said I'm going to have coffee at 8 o'clock.
If I drank coffee right now, I could still fall asleep. That's how tired I am.
Yeah, but you're not going to sleep well. You're going to sleep like shit.
I haven't slept well in a decade. I'm gonna start now just because I drink.
It's because you don't get any sleep.
Yeah. Look, I need my VR headset set up so I can play Minecraft in VR.
Have you tried downloading the RTX demo?
No. I got Alex installed already.
Oh yeah, I knew that. There's going to be one you're going to install.
That's the whole reason I built the computer and bought the Index, is just to play that game. And now I finally have everything to do it. She's so cute.
She does have a little bit of a slide of her hoof there, but I think I can get away with it.
They're gonna move up home. Yeah, they're not gonna notice that. She's so cute. It's adorable. Oh. Ponies have weird front legs. They just do.
Weird?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're hooves.
It's just where the joints are. It's just. It's cute though.
Okay, I'm just gonna go with this right now, and then I will figure out whether or not it actually works. Oh, actually, I made a mistake again. Actually, you know what? Locking doesn't mean shit, because technically this is crossing over enough range. So, whatever. I'll just leave it. I'm not gonna care now. Okay. This one.
And the march.
I think that there's still... The head motion might be a bit much, but that's easy to fix.
So cute. It's killing me how adorable it is.
See, I can only go to double it 4 times when it's somewhere in the middle of that I want. Gotta be something like that. In terms of smoothing out that head motion, though, that's actually pretty easy. So,
You know what you should do?
what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that head and neck. I'm going to pick the outside bit here. Sure, we'll do this position. I already got rid of the neutral. Damn. Oh, there's got to be close to neutral here.
You need to have her tongue sticking out just a little bit, like a meh.
So we're going to get rid of some of that motion right there. Like that. And, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to do it for just her head. And we're going to say, oh, play head. Then we're going to lock her head. And we're going to smooth it. And then play head, smooth again. What this does is it causes the head to stay somewhat still and the neck to move underneath it. But normally, as long as you don't go excessive with that, it actually works. And then we want to do that.
These are part for.
Something's not. There we go. Wasn't showing the orange layer. Okay. So I don't like how it slides a little bit, but I'm also going to be looking at it from like here. Alright, and this time I am not going to forget, oh, for one, head up higher. Eyes.
Big and happy.
Higher.
She looks so cute with her tongue out.
And then I'm going to choose some random part in here for her to blink. It's got to be a slower blink because this is going to be sped up. Okay. So let's take this. Okay, so this is totaling 12 seconds. So 3 times faster would bring it down to 4 seconds.
That looks like
Too much. Yeah, that would work fine. It's blink work. Yeah, the blink works. The tail actually, because of the butt motion, it kind of works as it is. I don't think I need to play with that. Alright, so if I were to take this, how long is this shot? Over 10 seconds. So this is 5 seconds. I would need about 15 seconds worth. Come on. There we go. Oh, almost forgot.
That blooper.
So now if I go here and I select, let's just say you are the victim,
No.
and I just paste it.
The Equestrian Council convenes. In Manhattan, the Equestrian Council convenes.
That works.
Wonderful.
So that was the whole thing. If I just wanted to make it easy to import into that, so. And I don't think it's perfect, but when it's the same thing with some of these animations. You have like 100 of them doing it, it's fine, and then you just slide them and mismatch them a little bit. And because the cycle's 5 seconds long instead of, like, if I didn't do that, the butt sway, it would have been 2.5. It would have been a lot easier to see where some of that crossover is. And actually, it would have been less than that. It would have been really short. But anyway, whatever. But that progress is made. I'll have to figure out what to do with these for the end of this shot. And then once that is figured out, then... Oh, and I gotta figure out what to do with them here. Yeah, I can probably start doing that next time. But anyways, I'm done for tonight. So yeah. If, I'll be back on Friday. Do more. Or something. Yeah, thanks for coming. Have a good week. Stay safe and healthy. And have...
Kitty!
Kitty. Okay. No kitty.
Oh.
No, we can't have kitty. So, okay, good night.
Good night.
Have a good one. Meow.